start telling you why it's a bad idea for you to start business X or business Y, which they will do. I want you to question whether what they're telling you is actually helping you at all. Do you respect their decision? In other words, I often say, if somebody gives an opinion of what I'm doing, like my brother apparently told somebody we both know in the city that my problem was, he's 2 years younger than me, my brother, but this got relayed back to me. He said, your brother says, your problem is, Bob, that you don't know your own limitations. Well, that's a good thing. Well, yeah, just get on and do stuff. I mean, apparently until a few years ago, you could actually prove that a bumblebee couldn't fly. Do you know that? But nobody told the bumblebee, so just got on with it. Now, aerodynamical engineers, because you can prove that a bumblebee, it's impossible for a bumblebee to fly. It just hasn't got the kit. They know now why it happens and how he actually makes the airflow, but it was just until about 2 or 3 years ago. Nobody told him, just got on with that. So I want you just to get on with it and only ask people for their opinion about the business you want to start if you respect them. If there's somebody who's already being successful themselves and running their own business. Rather than all your family who are unsuccessful. My youngest brother is a dustman in Bromley. He's divorced, he's penniless, and he's a dustman. Now my mum loves to ask him what she should do with her little pension money. I said, Mum, if you went into a bank or a pub and they said, who should I ask about what I should do with my money? You wouldn't say, that man over there, yes, he's a divorced, penniless dustman. I would go and ask him about it. Is that the sort of person you want to take financial advice from? So you've got to question all the people in your life who give opinions on what they're doing. Are you valuing this? Is it of any use to you? Is this something you're going to change your habits, or are they not really the successful people you want to model yourself on? Ignore them. If they're so clever, how come they're not having the life that they want? Question when people start to tell you stuff about what it is you want to do. The next thing is we got this leaf on top of the question mark and a B. And that's just to remind you, this all comes down to belief. Sorry. It's belief in yourself. Belief in a religion or anything is simply a feeling of certainty. I'm not going to tell you I'm agnostic or an atheist or destroy any of your religious beliefs, but that's what it boils down to. In your human brain, what belief you have. Your belief that something will happen. And I want to demonstrate belief to you tonight. Oh God, what's he going to do? Come and sit on the chair.
Again?
Yep. Sit down. You would just happen to be there, in the front row. I want 4 strong men, please. I'm not taking ladies because some of you have got heels on. 4 strong men, 2, and 2 guys at the back there. Here we are, I've got 4. That's right. Okay. What I want, can you just pull your chair forward a teensy weensy bit? Right? I want 2 of you can wash your hands after here, to stand by his shoulder blades. Come out. 2 of you either side of his shoulder blades. Good. You wash your hands after because it's quite warm in here. 2, that's right. 2 of you here, either side of his shoulder. 2 of you here, either side of his knees. One this side, one the other. I want you to make your fingers into a gun. Like that. Okay. And you can wash your hands after. This toilet's just out there. Put your fingers under his armpits. Oh dear. Oh yes, he's white. He's a nice clean chap, just like me. Right? You 2 are going to put your fingers, just your fingers under his knees. Alright? Go on then, put your fingers under his knees and under his armpits. Just your fingers. Just your fingers. No, like this. Like this, I want you to do it. That's it. And lift him up. Is it a bit hard?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to show you something absolutely remarkable. Be very, very careful of this. Alright? Be careful. Be careful of his head. What I want you to do is put your hand on his head. Put one hand on his head. Yes, now one hand on top, like that. One.
Okay.
And you put a hand on his head, you put a hand on his head. Now, again, like patty cake, that's it. Now, what's going to happen now is, you're going to concentrate. You've got to concentrate. Alright? Where's your other hand? I want your other hand. I want both your hands on there. And I want you, on my instruction, to start pressing down on his head. As hard as you can. And I'm going to count backwards from 10 down to 1. So when I start 10, you've got to start really pressing down hard. And we're all going to help him, aren't we? You're going to count down. When I get to 3, I want you to take your hands out. 2, I want you to insert your fingers under his arm, under his knees and under his armpits. And 1, I want you to lift him straight up in the air. Have you got that? Yeah. Can you all do that? Yeah. Okay, we're going to help him count down. Are you ready? Start pushing. 10, 9, 8, push down. 7, 6, 5, stop laughing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it again. See? You've got to concentrate, all of you. You've got to concentrate. Be careful of his head. Right? Hand down, hand down, hand down, hand down. And around again. Right, you've got to concentrate. I want all your thought power to go down through his hands, down through his head, and push down. All right? You've got to concentrate. And when I'm going to start counting now, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Can you actually tell me, thank you very much, if you chaps want to wash your hands, it's very warm in here, there's a toilet out there.
Yeah, I'm wearing Dove right now, Dove wet.
Let me just tell you why that happens. It's the basis of all miracles and everything else. I don't want to demystify things. When you sat down here, when he sat down there just now, and thank you very much for once again being out here, you had to be in the front row. I said lift him. You said you didn't have any belief that you could lift him. Then I made you do something really stupid. I think you got your fingers out like that. I was giving you all sorts of signals like be careful of his head, and you were starting to give the belief that you could do it. Then I gave you a magic spell of putting his hand on his head and pushing down and counting to 10. It's utter bullshit. Right? Or I could have got exactly the same result if I'd said to you, I want you all to walk around 4 times saying abracadabra, 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 and then you lift them up. Because it's like a magic spell. You think you gave you the belief that that would happen. And because I was giving you all sorts of signals like be careful of his head, you all started to believe it could happen. And it happened. And it happens all the time. So you've got to develop the same sort of belief that you can achieve the things you want to achieve. If you ever have to make a presentation to a group of people, don't say, I imagine, my belief is that it's going to be a bloody disaster. Because your brain will say to you, okay, you've got it, we'll make a disaster for you. We'll make it all go wrong. If you walk out there and say, okay, whatever happens, this is going to be a pretty good show. It's the sort of thing we were doing yesterday in Olympia. That's all it was. We just stepped out there and said, hey, come in, we're going to show you how to find new customers. Within sort of 2 or 3 minutes, people were responding to that sort of belief that we had this magic spell. Actually, it's in the people themselves. And any one of you can develop the same sort of belief. Start to get belief that you can deliver. Start to tell yourself, have that conversation with yourself, this is what I can do, this is where I'm going. Because your brain responds to that sort of thing very quickly. It's like at home. Have any of you ever lost your car keys? You ever lost your car keys at home? And you look at it, ours are usually by the hall table. And it's Saturday morning and the kids want to go out. Well, my kids are all grown up now, but they want to go out somewhere. And you look where the keys usually are, and they're not there. And you say to yourself, what do you say? I've lost the bloody car keys, don't you? And then you go on that journey around the house, saying, I've lost my car keys. I've lost my bloody car keys. I've lost my bloody car keys. You go in the kitchen first, on the side, isn't it? This way they could be, on the side. Then you go in the lounge, or in front of the telly, down the side of the sofa, not there. No? Then you go to the dining room, I've lost my bloody keys. On the sideboard, not there, God. Then you go upstairs in your bedroom, lost my bloody keys. You go on the side, on the chest of drawers, not there. Kids' bedroom, on the side, down in the bathroom and toilet, why they'd be there, God only knows, right? Then you arrive back down where you began. You do the same journey again, don't you? I better check again. They're not on here. I've lost my bloody keys. Keys. And you go in the kitchen, on the side, they're not there. You go in the lounge, on the side, the sofa, they're not there. In the dining room, sideboard, no. Upstairs, bloody bedroom, lost my bloody keys. No. On the side, no, not right there. Kids' bedroom, toilet, bathroom. Back down to where you began again. You're just about to start the 3rd trip, and somebody in your family says, what's wrong? I've lost my keys. Where did you put them? Because it must be somebody else's fault, mustn't it? You've got to have a bit of blame going. They say you should never hit children when you're angry. When can you hit them? Right? Where do you put the keys? They wouldn't have been looking. Do you ever find when that happens that whoever, like your husband or wife, goes, what the hell? They pick them straight up. In other words, they were there on the hall table or wherever they are all the time. Your eyes kept seeing them, but what program were you putting in there? Your brain says, okay, you've got it. You've lost them. Huh? Men do it a lot, don't we? We do it with socks and underpants in the cupboard. Where are my socks? They're in the airing cupboard. There are no socks in the airing cupboard. They're on the 2nd shelf. I'm looking at the 2nd shelf. There are no socks here. They're on the 2nd shelf, next to your shirt. I'm looking. There's nothing bloody here. They're on the 2nd shelf. Then you feel, because it's usually wives trying to get the kids off to school, and you feel the rage, don't you guys? It's like a green shape, and it precedes her up the stairs, because you're having this conversation. And you go into the airing cupboard. You throw them, don't you? You have to throw them. Because your eyes, men, kept seeing the socks. What program were you putting in your brain? There are no socks here. Your brain says, okay, no socks. We can do no socks for you. See, but people do themselves down. You know, when they're about to stand up and make a presentation or go into a sale, this will be terrible. This will be useless. Your brain says, okay, we'll make it useful. Yeah? What happens if you were to start saying, actually, this could be pretty good? You know, this could be pretty much an ass-kicking exercise here. We could have a bit of fun. You come through the door, bit of a smile, hi. You know? Oh, shit. Getting a good buzz from this person. They're quite confident. Do you see what I'm saying here? Confidence very often is an act. Nobody knows what's going to happen next in your business or mine or in the country or in the world, but the people that run things pretend that they know. They don't know, they haven't got a clue, they're just pretending they're acting. So you can start acting. That'll bring out the belief that, hey, I'm a pretty clever person. Because people accept you for the belief you have in yourself. And like my brother, you know, it's misplaced maybe, but I have to tell you, the companies are not run by the best people, they're run by the people who think they're the best. Companies and countries and everything else are not run by the best people. They're run by people who've made up their mind they're the best people to run it. So they are. Because other people accept us all for the value we place on ourselves. Your life and my life isn't somebody else's fault, or David Cameron's fault, or Ed Miliband's fault. It's not all going to get better if Ed Miliband gets to get back in, I promise you. He's rubbing his hands at the moment thinking, God, the Tories are taking all the flack. We'd have to do exactly the same. That's what he's thinking. It's not all going to get better. There's going to be suddenly a big bubble of money when he gets in, if he gets in. It's going to be just the same. And everybody's going to go, trade unions are going to say, oh, it's always going to be bloody better. Not. It's going to be just the same. And meanwhile, the millionaires of the world, and hopefully all of you in this room, are going to be out there doing your own stuff and getting on with it. And really pissing off the family and the people that hang around in your family and say, you just bloody lucky. You say, no. I just get out and do stuff. And you're just sitting around on your sofa, not doing anything. Hey, I mentioned to you, you've got a drill, some raw plugs with a screw, you've got a business. I said this in the very beginning. You can absolutely do anything. If somebody ever says to you, does your business do X, don't say yes or no. Say, what do you want? There might be something in there that might surprise you, that you could surprise quite easily, and they pay a lot of money for. Always say that. What do you want? What are you looking for? You know, somebody said to me at one of the big energy companies, do you do leadership courses? Now, we didn't at the beginning of last year. I said, well, what do you want? We want something like this. It'll train these people to do that. Put together a course. We're just completing the 4th program of this course in 2 weeks' time, and they've now asked us to take it to Australia and Trinidad in the new year. Yeah, I just thought of it. Instead of saying, no, we don't do that, I said, well, what do you want? And any one of you can do it. I'm not better than you. But you have a belief that you can do it, and you go and do it, and take no notice of what anybody else says. Get this belief right. Why do you think the bee is spitting out distilled water? Because I want you at the end of each day to distill what has happened in your day. Think to yourself. First thing in the morning, I'll tell you what I do. I've got little yellow post-it notes. Keep on saying to you, I'm not asking you to do stuff I don't do. On the left-hand side of my shaving mirror, ladies, you won't have a shaving mirror, but I do. You have a makeup mirror. On the left-hand side, I've got a post-it note like that, on which is written the following little questions to ask myself while I'm having a shave in the morning. The first question is this, and any one of you can do this yourselves. What am I looking forward to achieving today? Anybody like some post-it? Anybody want to write this out now? A yellow post-it note. I'll give you a yellow post-it note. I've got loads of flipping things. Right? Do you know post-it notes were an accident? You ever heard of this? Just give people, you're going to need 2 of these if you actually want to write this out now, if you want my notes. On the first post-it note, your first post-it note at the top, you've got 4 things to write. The first thing is, what am I looking forward to achieving today? And you said to yourself, well, I'm looking forward to doing this and this and this. Good. Second thing is, how can I have fun doing it? I don't know about you, I want to get and have a bit of fun every day. If it's not fun, why if you're doing a job you don't enjoy, why are you doing it? Go and do something you'd like to do every day and have a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh doing it. Serious. This is your life going by. This is your life going by. You've heard it isn't a rehearsal. I don't want to talk in cliches, but this is it. So first question is, what am I looking forward to doing today? The second question is, to achieving today. The second question is, how can I have fun doing it? The third one is, how do I move when I'm unstoppable? Because other people are going to pick these signals up from me, you know. If you want to move, if you want to stand there with a bit of presence, all you've got to do is not stand like your mum told you when you were little. You know, stand up, square up, chin up, tummy in, bum in, and that sort of thing. You think I was a cretin, wouldn't you? If you want people with a bit of presence, what they do is they can stand with their legs about 30 centimetres apart, drop their shoulders, right? just like this, unbuckle their knees and just get the heels just a little bit coming off the ground. Now, you see, you feel as if you're just about to take off. And other people pick up those signals from you as well. So how do I move when I'm unstoppable, when I'm excited about something? And the fourth and last thing on this opening note for the morning is this. It's really based on the fact your life every day, you can't get back the day that's just gone. You can't get it back. And you can't save time. You can only spend it. If you don't spend your time doing what you want, somebody else is going to spend it for you. So the question you ask yourself is this. If today had been a great investment in my life, how would I want to feel at the end of it? If today had been a great investment in my life, how would I want to feel at the end of it? I don't know about you, but I don't regret. I've done some bad and some good things in my life. I've done a lot of bad things as well. But I don't regret any of the things I've done. The things I regret are the things I haven't done. Some things I would never do again, like bungee jumping and things like that. But other things, I'm glad I've tried it. You know, I'm not going to do it again, but I've tried it. So the day I'm lying in my deathbed, like any of you, and my grandchildren, great-grandchildren are gathered around, and they say, and I want to feel I've had a really great life. I did everything I wanted to do. Nothing was left wanting. The one thing I don't want to happen the day I'm dying is to be lying in my deathbed with people asking me what my last words are. Now, is he speaking? Yes, he's saying his last words. Listen, great-grandfather, come and listen, children. He's just dying. He said, he's got a very peaceful look on his face. What's he saying? What's he saying? I wish I'd watched more television. Are you going to want that to be your last words? Are you going to want? There's nothing on the television. There's nothing there. It's boring. It's bullshit. It's terrible. It's just to suck you in. Do what a friend of mine, whose husband was an anaesthetist at East Epsom General Hospital, she got so fed up with him coming home every night just watching the telly, she got a pair of scissors one night and cut the plug off it. Now we haven't got a telly. Now we're going to have to enjoy our lives. There's nothing on the telly. The famous impresario Noel Coward once said, television isn't for watching, it's for appearing on. The rest of you people are taking us for a ride. Stop watching the telly, get out and start enjoying your life. Go and do something else. The telly is for somebody else to earn money off you. So you don't want that to be your last words. You want to say, the last thing, I had a bit of fun. Because, the investment in my life was really good. Because right now, somebody is out there thinking of a business they could start and getting out and getting on with it. So this is why you've got to have a business that you really love doing. Or something you want to do and you'd still be doing it on a Saturday or a Sunday night because you love it so much. That's when you get the sort of passion you need. Why am I doing this at 5 to 9? Have you realised it's 5 to 9? This is why I do it on a Friday night. I could go and stand in a pub. But I get on with stuff. As we said to some of the people we were teaching yesterday in Olympia, that one of the great times to cold call people to try and sell them your service on a Friday afternoon. Because most people have given up and gone to the pub. But the boss is still there. The guy who wants with the money, we were hearing about the senior people, he's still there. He still has to run the business. And he's often unprotected because all his staff have gone home, including his secretary. Or they're standing in the pubs getting pissed. Ring them up! That's when they're there. Friday afternoon is the best kept secret of cold calling. Your other bit of paper is the one you read when you're cleaning your teeth at night before you go to bed. And it allows you to reflect on what's happened to you during the day. And these are the questions. There are 3 of them. What did I do well today? In other words, what am I proud of that I did? What did I do well today? Second question is, but what did I do badly that if I repeated it, I'd do differently tomorrow? So the first thing is, what did I do well today? The second question is, what would I do so badly that if repeated it, I'd do it differently tomorrow? And the third question is, so what have I learned? So what have I learned? This goes back to the old, the model with the cake. You've got to put a different mix in. If you want something different to happen, you've got to put a different mix in your life. And let me tell you one thing, all of you, you're not going to win the lottery. You're not going to win the lottery. You're not. It's 14.5 million to 1. You're not going to win it. If you don't know what 14.5 million to 1 looks like, let me just show you. That's it. Right? So I really want to scotch all your rivers. I'll tell you what it is, if you want in physical terms. If we want to know what 14.5 million to 1 looks like, let's imagine this gentleman is in Scotland in his car, and he's got a bucket in his car. And I'm down in London in my car, And I bring him up and I say, are you ready? And he says, yes, I've got my tennis ball. He says, good, go, off we go. We have no more communication. You're going to drive your car down towards London, and I'm going to drive my car up towards Glasgow. And off we go. And sometime on that journey, he decides, at a random point, it's up to him, we're not in communication, to stick his bucket out of the window. And sometime on my upwards journey towards Scotland, I decide to chuck my tennis ball out of the window. 14.5 million to 1 is the chance that he would catch my tennis ball in his bucket. Is it conceivable that he might?
Yeah.
Is it likely?
No.
Not at all. So that's the basis. That's what people do. Like spending £1 twice a week on the lottery, that's what you're doing. You're being the man with the tennis ball and the other guys with the bucket. It's not going to happen. So forget it. It used to be, when I lived in New York, there used to be a big sign outside one of outside Kennedy Airport in New York from one of the big banks. It said, in letters this high, next weekend somebody's going to win the lottery. And underneath in brackets it said, just not you. You're not going to win it. You're not going to win the lottery. You're not going to win it. Sorry to dash your hopes. Nobody in this room is going to win the lottery. All right? Oh dear, oh dear. You're not going to win the lottery. Put quid in, I don't mind, give you a vague, stupid chance. You are not going to win it. So you might as well get another plan in place very quickly. It's not going to happen for any of you in this room. Not at all. And people spend, I'm watching in my local Sainsbury's, 20 or 30 quid. You're wasting your money. Every pound doesn't give you another chance. It's another 14.5 million to 1 chance. You are not going to win it. The end.
What if I did win it though?
Eh?
What if I did win it?
That's what they want you to think. They don't want you to think about tennis balls and buckets.
But what happened to the positive mental thinking?
Yeah.
I'm expected to win. I'm that.
You're not going to win. You've got to be. I told you earlier. Don't go stupid with it. It's don't go to something stupid goal. It's a miracle that, for example, that you could jump off the roof of St Paul's Cathedral and flap your arms, and somehow the wind gets under your arms, and you could land without hurting yourself. Or you could conceivably jump out of an aeroplane without a parachute at 10,000 feet, and a gust of wind comes up, which could happen, a freak. Is it likely to happen? Not at all.
Isn't it the same parent syndrome where your parents telling you that you can't do it?
It's got to be conceivably possible. It's got to be humanly possible. You're not. Well, I just want to get ridiculous things out. Eh?
If one person has won it already, it's got to be humanly possible.
It's conceivable that a miracle could happen. That it's like people recovering from Alzheimer's. The only one who's ever done it is that man who was put in prison a few years ago because he had Alzheimer's. He let him out, and he recovered. The only man knowing. He didn't have Alzheimer's. It's just stupid. It's just ridiculously stupid. I don't mind you spending a quid. But you're actually giving a quid to, some charity is what you're doing. You're not going to win the lottery, so forget it. You've got to have another plan for your life and your success, and this is what this is all about, right? It isn't that difficult to do. You've only got to work 10% harder than most other people to earn 100% more of a result. But let's go on from this. Why do you think we've got a terracotta pot with 10 seashells in it? The reason is everybody in this room, you've got the potential to become whatever you want to become. You've got the potential. You have. You've got the potential. I'm not better. I said from the beginning, I'm not better than you. I am not better than you. All I do is do this stuff blindly, and I, have my goal list, and I get out there, and when Bonnley says we can run a business, I said fine, and then remarkable things start to happen. My American business partner in Washington says, Robert, you have far too much fun. That's a decision I make every day. One day it's all going to come to an end. My old mother-in-law, who's Irish, she used to say, life is a short holiday from eternity. Most of the eternity, you're not here. You're somewhere else. God knows where that is. Only God knows. You're not here. You're here for 80 years. You might as well make the best of it and go out and go for life. I mean, the poet laureate Sir John Betjeman, who died about 20 years ago at the age of 84, was asked if he had any regrets at the end of his life. He said, yes, I didn't have enough sex. If you want sex, go and get it. Somebody else wants it, sort of makes up, might not be that person, but you know what I mean? Don't be lying on your deathbed saying, I wish. The most saddest words in the world, it might have been. But change your life from this moment, which is why we've got this grizzly bear. Two trappers were once hunting in Canada, and they suddenly looked round and saw they were being chased by a grizzly bear, so they started to run away. Then one of them sat down on a rock, took his knapsack off his back, opened it, and got out a pair of running shoes and put them on. And his friend said, well, just a minute, what are you doing with that for? We'll never outrun the grizzly bear. And he said, I haven't got to outrun the grizzly bear, I've got to outrun you. So what he's saying is, what he was saying was he didn't like the situation he was in, but he had a strategy to get himself out of it. So it's no good saying, I wish I wasn't being chased by a grizzly bear, because he was. It's no use any of you saying, I wish I was 40 years, 20 years, 30 years younger and I would make different choices and have a different partner, choose a different job. It's not going to happen. There isn't going to be a yesterday. There's only a now and a tomorrow. So what are you going to do with it? Get your strategy from this point on. What you're going to change. What are you going to change? Because you can't notice being miserable about all the things that have gone wrong in your life. Most people discuss them endlessly because it gives them the excuse not to change it. And any one of you can change it because you've got the potential to become great. And it's up to you. It really is. Now, why is the bear wearing dancing shoes? Because this is the model on which you're going to run your businesses and your life now. We call it the dance model. First thing is, you've got to know what your goal is, what your desired outcome is for your business, for your life, for your goals, and everything else. And then you've got to do something to make it happen. You've got to know what actions you're going to take. Because without action, nothing's going to happen. Then from your list of actions, you're going to select one or two, and you're going to apply them. But there's no use just applying them blindly. Let's say, here's Essex, come around, here's Kent, South Coast, Isle of Wight. There's Biggin Hill Airport, and there's the French coast, and the 2Ks over there. If on a lovely Sunday morning I get up and I think, oh, it's a lovely day out, I think I'll ring the flying school and see whether they can let me have a plane for the day. I'll fly to the 2K. It's a dead easy trip. It takes about an hour from the UK, go across the channel. And what you do is you get your map out, you draw a line on it, and that gives you the compass heading you're going to head out on. And that's kind of your general game plan. It's dead easy to do. Flying is so easy it isn't true. But what actually happens, this is just a picture of what I want to happen. What happens in a real aeroplane when it gets up in the sky? What sort of things affect it?
Wind.
Wind, exactly. So you come here, and the prevailing winds in the UK tend to come from the west, like that. So if I just belligerently took off from Biggin Hill and started to head out across Kent like that, not taking any notice of the wind would just start doing that. I would just come holding that heading. Am I going to arrive in the 2K?
No.
Where am I going to arrive?
Somewhere.
So what have I, the pilot of the plane, and what does every pilot of a jumbo jet or a little tiny aircraft have to do all the while? Well, they've got to navigate. They've got to look at the compass. That's what you have to do. Am I still going where I thought I was going? Do you know what percentage of the time a jumbo jet is off track if it's flying to America from Heathrow? 90% of the time. 90% of the time it's not flying there, it's going somewhere else, being blown by the wind. So the pilot or the automatic pilot has to correct it. He has to correct it. In a little plane, like a little Cessna or a Piper, you have to do it yourself. You have to say, well, that's what's happening here, I better do that. And the journey is actually like this. You're correcting all the while. That's how airplanes fly. Sorry to disappoint you if you thought there was some magic. As soon as they get up in the air, all sorts of things happen. So, same for your business. It's no use saying, I've done my business plan and that's what I'm going to do, and this was the plan, because all sorts of things could push you off. Cool. So you, just like me as a pilot, you have to notice what's happening. Is it working? And it's no good me just carrying on saying, well, that's the plan, and it isn't working. Notice what happens, and if it's not working, what am I going to do? Change it. A lot of people you employ in business, you give them a job to do, and they kind of do it, and you notice it's not working out. You go back after 3 months and say, what are you doing? I'm doing what you told me to do. But it isn't working. Well, you bloody told me to do it. We call that a belligerent obedience. That's what the boss told me to fucking do. I don't fucking know. He told me he's the boss, he's in charge. Change it. Most people in most companies, that's what he told me to do. Change it. And all the while, model yourself on excellence. Copy somebody who's doing an excellent job in a field that you'd like to go in. We saw somebody yesterday who's doing a similar sort of thing to us, who said they were going to come to this meeting tonight. He's obviously looked at us and said, hey, look, we're doing something a bit different here. We better copy them. We're not going down there because they're stealing our cake, and we're going to carry on stealing it, I promise you. Because we made up our minds. They're modelling themselves on us. But we've got a game plan for next year as well. We're not just going to stay doing the same old stuff, because people copy. You've got to do something else. Stay ahead of the game. I have to. You have to. But when you start to do this stuff, visualizing, having the right conversation with yourself, you start to do all these things every day, and very soon, you'll find that somebody will come to you with a board. Now, who has got the right sort of picture in their life before we finish, who thinks they now can imagine themselves breaking through this board?
Sharon does.
Go on then. Off you go. Stand up. Stand up. It's not about whether you can, it's about whether you think you can. What I want you to do is stand in front of me now. Okay? Take them off. Yeah, take them off. Now, you can hit me and I can't hit you because you're a girl and I'm a boy. Right? I want you, I'm glad you haven't got great big long stuck on nails. Good, because you would have been breaking. Right? I want you to do this. I want you to tap the board once, just tap it. Twice with the heel of your hand, yeah? Doing like a steam engine, like that. Can you do that? Just do that for me. Keep your body, move your trunk like that. That's it. And you're going to tap it once, twice, and then you're going to go right through it. You're going to try and hit me in the chest. You ready? Okay, and you go. Tap it. Once. No, just with your right hand. You right-handed?
All right.
Right. One. Back. Keep your whole body. 1, 2, and then go right through it. Try and hit me. 1, 2, and hit me. At the beginning of the evening, you said you couldn't do it.
You're speaking of me, wasn't you?
You want to have a go? Go on then.
Can't go
Do
man.
2 of them, because we've got to go in a minute. I think the landlord has just said, the janitor is trying to throw us out. Exactly the same way. I want you to imagine you've caught me chatting up your best girlfriend or your wife. And I'm a bloke and you've gone to punch. We're having a punch up outside. I want you not to see the board. I want you to try and hit me. Exactly the same way. 1, that's it, 2, and go through it. Ladies and gentlemen, before I finish this, this is not about what you can do, it's about what you think you can do. But I want to show you something really remarkable before we shut this down. I want to show you what the power of thought can do with a little old pound shop candle. What I want you all to do right now, go out and start
Are you taking those balls with you? Or you just
No, I'm taking them with me.
Oh, come on.
No, I haven't got enough. They're £1.50.
I'll give you £3.
It's a car going to be on Saturday. It's a pain in the arse.